sidewalk to Floyd's Barbershop and check out everything in Floyd's Barbershop and get all the history behind it. Stay tuned. It started.
No, Dad was the Floyd, the real Floyd.
Oh, your dad was the real Floyd.
All right, good morning out there, Mayberry fans and the others. My name is Bill Hiatt. We're here in Floyd's City Barbershop in Mount Airy, Mayberry, North Carolina. This shop itself opened in 1929 as City Barbershop. Everything that you see in here, from the mirrors, the cabinetry, the sinks, the marble, these two green barber chairs, and the cash register in the back, were all bought new in 1929. There's a child's chair in here that was given to my dad, the real Floyd, 20-some years ago from a barber friend in Louisville, Kentucky. That chair is 95 years old.
Wow.
These three chairs have never been worked on. They were made to last, made with quality. My dad started barbering in '47, and Andy Griffith was his junior at Carolina that year. Andy finished his last 2 years of college, then he taught high school in Goldsboro. He taught music and drama for 3 years. Then in '52, Andy left and went to New York and started his acting career. During that 5-year period, Dad got to cut his hair several times, and there were 5 other barbers here, and they had been cutting Andy's hair prior to Dad's arrival. Well, about 1980, the other 5 barbers had all passed away, and that just left Dad. Somebody came in one day and said, well, they're all gone but you. I guess we'll just call you Floyd. And so Dad wanted to do something to thank the tourists for coming in. What he came up with was taking pictures of everyone and then putting them up on the wall. Well, by 1981, TV stations, newspapers, magazines, everyone had started hearing about all these pictures, and he in the process added Floyd's to the name City Barbershop. Well, people started seeing it on TV, and from 1960 to 80, people had nowhere to go to enjoy the show or the characters or whatever. So from 1980 to 1995, Dad took around 60,000 pictures.
Wow.
Well, by 1981, people turned on television, there was Dad. Pick up the paper, there was Dad. Well, people started flocking in here, and for 2 of the last 3 years of our Mayberry days, we've had over 300,000 people here each year. It's just a 4-day period, Thursday through Sunday.
That's a lot of people.
And you can imagine the financial impact that had on this town. Well, Dad passed away 3 years ago, this past May the 3rd. He was 92. He had cut hair until he was 90 years and 2 months old.
Bless his heart.
5 days a week. But anyway, the town honored him for his service to the town, which was almost 70 years, and for what he had done to get the tourism started. When he passed away, ABC and CBS sent affiliate stations to film video, live stream video broadcast of Dad's funeral service, which was seen all over the world. And of course, all of these networks have their affiliate stations all over the world anyway.
Right.
And so Dad had been being seen since probably about 1981, 82, all over the world. So anyway, he had to be probably the best known real barber that there's ever been. And because of all of the things he did, he was inducted into the National Barbers Hall of Fame back in 2000. And in 1980s, Dad was made a Kentucky colonel. And I think his biggest achievement in life was probably when I was born. I mean, that could be, there's a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
It could just be, but anyway. So about 5 years ago, Dad's health started failing, and I'm a retired teacher, and I came up here and started staying with him. And just to watch the way people responded when they saw him, he was the real Floyd in their mind, the real Floyd. And so now I can't leave. So I'm trying to keep on the family tradition of
Well,
Floyd's Barbershop.
all these pictures on the wall is just amazing.
Well, I started taking pictures about 4 years and 10 months ago, and I've already got over 60,000 pictures on Facebook.
Wow.
I don't know when all of that will cease, but
I hope
right
this is an icon that'll never leave. I mean,
Well,
truly.
I love it. The people are just tremendous. They come in here and they are just so friendly and so
Right.
excited to be in Mayberry. And they want to see everything. They want to do everything. And
I mean, that show always made you feel those characters were just so real that you can just walk right out and meet them. And when you saw Floyd, you was like, wow. Yeah.
well, several times a year, the tribute artists, the lookalikes, come through town and spend, sometimes 2 or 3 days here. And I mean, you recognize them as who they are. There's Alan Newsom, who does an imitation of Floyd the Barber. He looks like him, sounds like him, acts like him, whatever. He looks like reincarnated or something. And there's the Kenneth Junkin, who is the Otis look-alike tribute artist, and this one for every character.
Mm-hmm.
And it is amazing.
And then, of course, you had the Mayberry Days here, too.
The Mayberry Days, the last full weekend of September every year. And it is an awesome thing. It basically ends on Saturday morning. Of course, there are other activities that evening and night, but Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, they always have a Mayberry Day parade. The lookalikes come in. Andy's adopted daughter, Dixie, and Michelle, her real good friend, they have been coming for the last few years pretending to be the, what is it? The girls from Mount Pilot.
Oh, the Darlings?
No,
not the Darlings, those other girls.
Yeah.
The good time
fun
girls. Yeah, the fun girls.
Well, it's too early in the morning to think about fun, but anyway.
Yeah.
And so they are just super people. Dixie comes as Skippy on the show, Skippy like Barney. She always called him Bernie. And Daphne like Andy, and Andy just, he just cringed every time, she'd look at him, whatever. She'd do this, put her shoulder up next to him and go, and you could just see him say, where's the door? Where's the door? I want out of here. This has been such a fun place. I know one day I will close it up and move on to do other things. But
it'll be a sad day for this town.
I have no one to take it over when I leave. And all this stuff in here is so valuable.
Yeah.
These chairs weigh about 500 pounds. And like I said, 90 years old and never worked on.
Yeah.
The 95-year-old.
And of course, then they also hold special places in the heart too. All the people that sat there in the conversations.
I think my biggest regret is in thinking back. One day last week, we were talking about Dad cutting my hair, and I said, I do not have a picture anywhere of Dad ever cutting my hair.
Oh no.
I mean, it's just, family, you don't think about it.
You don't think about it.
So, anyway, I tell people jokingly, of course, I say, I get so upset. Daddy cut Andy's hair for about 4.5 years. Cut my hair for over 60 years in here, and nobody ever mentions a word about my haircut. I mean, I'm like Andy, I put on my breechy legs one at a time, wear socks most of the time, sometimes shoes, and stuff, so whatever. But there you have our story, and it's a pleasant one. It's an emotional one sometimes.
Yes.
People come in and they're giving their children their first haircut 15, 20 years earlier, and had a couple that came in that Dad had cut the man's oldest son, gave him his first haircut when he was a year old. Well, this is the year-old boy now. I mean, with his little boy. And so these things are so special. I mean, the memories that you make in a place like this are long-lived.
Yeah, I mean, money can't touch memories. But this, I mean, all these pictures
Well,
and
most of
these
over
chairs.
Here, yeah, most of these pictures over here are people from the show and other shows. Got some interesting pictures right here that you might like to see. This was Dixie and Michelle. Dixie, of course, Andy's adopted daughter. Rhonda Benson has been here, and she's the top-rated female bluegrass singer. Mm-hmm. Andy was in a movie called Murder in Coweta County, which is in Georgia, and they showed the movie over here this past Mayberry days at Darrell Theater. It's Bo Pierce, who is a Briscoe Darling lookalike. And this, most people will recognize this young man, Clint Eastwood's son, Scott.
Oh, okay.
He was in here about 5 months ago, and they filmed, and so he was doing a film for a local business, and that was my dad.
That is your dad.
Yeah, and the picture on the door, of course, is Dad, and the painting up there in the left corner of Dad cutting Andy's hair.
He even looks just like the Floyd character on the show. Really does.
Well, there is a the print up there above the door is one of 500 that was printed out, and a couple wanted me to have it, and so that and other things. I had a fireman from New York in here about 5 years ago, and we were talking about 9/11, and I said, man, I'd give anything to have a piece of that history. And so about 9 months later, he come riding in here on his motorcycle and brought me a piece of the main floor, Twin Towers World Trade Center from 9/11, and some pictures.
That's amazing. I mean, a lot of people have passed through these doors.
Dad had such a memory that at one time you could point to a picture over here and say, well, I bet you don't remember those people. Well, in 10 seconds or less, he would tell you their last name and how long it had been since they were here and where they were from.
Memory sharp as it could be.
I know there are other people, but the only other one that I know of comes to mind was President Eisenhower. Was that way? Right here, Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. There's another one there. This was Dad after he cut George Lindsay Goober's hair. Another look-alike, Jeff Branch, who's Howard Sprague look-alike. This lady.
Oh, Aunt B.
It's not, that's Aunt B.
Oh, the character, I mean, her look-alike is amazing.
Yeah. Opie, if there's ever been an Opie. The little boy's name is Eli Austin. He was 4 years old in this picture 4 years ago, I guess, 4.5 years ago.
They got some really, those are good lookalikes, because I thought that was Aunt B.
Yeah, she looks just like her. And there's a lady, Alma Venable, who owns the Mayberry motel, and she is Mount Airy, our own Aunt B lookalike.
Yes. And
on, of course. This was Charlene Darling. There's about 4 pictures of her and Dad there. And Andy had 3 granddaughters, and this was one of them. Her name is Sarah. She lives out in Denver, close to her mom. And she has 2 sisters, and all of them live out around somewhere, I think, fairly close to their mom, Charlene Darling. Mm-hmm. And so on and on. Well, I can't think of much else to tell you about the shop without going into a lot of detail. But barbers, each one had their own letter, and $9.99 was as high as it went because during the Depression years, haircuts were dime. This also was the first cash register that you could actually see what the cashier was ringing up. This is an accounting machine. It was built with a lot of features. The guy comes in and gets a haircut, say it's $5. Well, up here it says cash transaction, barber A, $5. And right here it printed out a ticket with all of that information on it. It had cash, the barber's letter, and the amount. End of the day, he counted up his cash tickets and they knew how much he put in here. The barber supply guy would come in once in a while, and one of the barbers says, I need a bottle of hair tonic. He said, that'd be $3. So now he has a ticket that says paid out on it, and his letter, so nobody else can say it was theirs, and the amount. End of the year, he counts all of his paid up tickets, didn't have to write anything down to remember, and he got his information for his taxes at the end of the year. This was pretty far advanced.
Yeah.
And a guy couldn't afford to pay for a haircut, and they said, will you carry me for a couple of weeks? Well, yeah. So he said, well, I got $3, and let me pay you that much anyway. So he gives him a ticket now on account. The guy has charged it. The guy would sign the ticket. The barber would hold it until he came in, paid it off. They'd tear it up and throw it away, and that settled the account. Still nothing to have to write down. The cash register did it all for them.
It's amazing that that piece of equipment is still working.
1929.
Since
90 years old.
Nowadays you have to keep getting things worked on.
Oh yeah. And here, one of the other great features was the fact it kept a running total during the day. So when you close out at the end of the day, count the money in here and look at that total, and they're supposed to match. And if there's a big discrepancy, bar the doors, Katie, because nobody leaving until somebody comes up with some extra money. Unless somebody was messing around the machine and accidentally got some out. And it also has the little motor. On the motor it has a fuse. And I've had 3 verifications by people who work for NCR tell me that fuse was original. It's never been replaced. It's over 90 years old.
It shows how good things were built. As far, I mean, just like your chairs and everything. To have things never to have to be worked on.
Well, these chairs still do everything like they did before. They perfectly lay them back to shave them. I did a pretend shave on this barber in here one day, and I laid him back, put the cape around him and everything, just like the whole ordeal. He lay back here like this, and got through, and he had dozed off. Well, I looked at the family and I said, what's wrong? And, so I thought, well, I know what I'm going to do. So I laid my head over, and like I was listening for a heartbeat, and I turned around at the family and I said, so I just took the cape and pulled it up over his head like he was gone. Oh, you could have heard people laughing one end of town to the other. So,